What's going on, guys? In this video I wanted to go over Sphere 3D. They just gave their monthly mining update, and I wanted to say, if you have any Bitcoin miners that you want me to do videos about, cover their Bitcoin mining updates, check out the chart, stuff like that, let me know down below. But in this video we're going to look over Sphere 3D, check out the chart, see this Bitcoin mining update, and go over a bit of a concern that this company is facing. Now let's get into this. Consider hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, check out the links down below, and let's look at Sphere 3D. Alright guys, so first off, their Bitcoin mining update, and this is for the month of February, and it dropped just a few days before this upload. First off, let's read what the CEO says. February was a game-changing month for Sphere 3D. We successfully found homes for and began deploying the majority of the 11,000 miners we received in January. We forged new partnerships with hosting providers in record time to fill the gap left by the December 2022 Core Scientific bankruptcy. And if you guys didn't know, they are dealing with Core Scientific's bankruptcy as well as Compute North, but we'll get into that in a second. But going on with what the CEO said, with the miners currently being deployed in March and April, our fleet is expected to be fully homed, and upon energization, we expect to be at approximately 1.5 exahash. So here's a Compute North update. We continue to work with Compute North and their bankruptcy lawyers for the return of our deposit through the Chapter 11 process. On February 24, 2023, we filed our financial claim with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, which included our deposit plus additional claims from January 13 of 2023, the contract rejection date, while we continue to work within the Chapter 11 process to recover our funds. So them getting their claims back from Compute North could take a while. And they have a miner delivery update. We have begun deployment to several hosting partners for March and April energization. We deployed 2,400 miners to Lancium mining at their Texas facility. Any of you CleanSpark guys remember Lancium? Well, apparently Sphere 3D is working with them, but they say Lancium has the latest state-of-the-art technology in immersion mining. We are in discussions with another hosting provider to place 5,000 miners, which we expect to be hashing in the next 30 to 45 days, as well as in definitive agreements to place another 2,000 miners. With the deployments above, we have successfully placed the majority of our current fleet. Now, as for an update on Core Scientific, they're still waiting for their claims on that, and Sphere 3D is participating in the creditors committee for the U.S. Bankruptcy Council. Now let's get into their actual Bitcoin production and holding update. So in February 2023, Sphere 3D produced 35 Bitcoin, or 1.25 per day. Sphere 3D's mining fleet operated at 90.6 Bitcoin per exahash efficiency. Daily production volume remained flat compared to January. The reduction in uptime was due to some operational issues, including a leak in a transformer, a router crash, and maintenance needed on some machines. So if it wasn't for those hurdles, February would have looked a little better than January. But during February, the company employed a hybrid strategy of liquidating during Bitcoin price upswings and hodling for the remainder of its holdings. The company liquidated 41.45 Bitcoin during the month to fund working capital and hosting deposits for their S19j Pros. And currently, Bitcoin held by the company represents a fair market value as of this update of approximately 0.3 million based on the Bitcoin price of 23,700. So they do have maybe around 0.4 million by now. As of February 28, the company was operating approximately 4,330 S19s, delivering a production capacity of approximately 433 petahash. And here's the CEO's closing remarks before we get into the chart and an issue that they're facing. February was an exciting month as we found homes for the rest of our fleet. When fully energized, we expect to increase our production to almost 1.5 exahash. This month was pivotal for Sphere 3D, and our focus is on the execution and energization of a large portion of our miners during the next 30 to 45 days. We could definitely see some nice improvements in their exahash as they continue energizing their fleet, as they just said. But next up, let's look over this hurdle that they're going through, and then we're going to look at the chart and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Now I know this is a very old notice here, but bear with me here. So January 29 of 2022, they did receive a notice from the NASDAQ for failure to comply, failure to stay above $1. And in January, they got their second notice. This is their 180-day extension they've already had. And it says here, on January 24 of 2023, the company received notification from NASDAQ indicating that the company will have an additional 180-day grace period or until July 24, 2023 to regain compliance. And there's definitely one concern for this company. They only have a few months, and I don't think they're going to get delisted. I think they're going to instead reverse split. That's the most likely outcome. And this is definitely going to be a weight on this company's shoulders as it maintains its current price. And let's look at the chart. Now, today, as of this upload, they did experience a pretty nice day, an 11% gain on the day. But for context, nearly all miners were rallying today. Now, I did want to show you on the chart here that it is in some kind of an accumulation phase. It last hit its lows at the end of 2022, and it has maintained them or gone up from there. However, Sphere 3D nearly needs to 3x to regain compliance. And while it's definitely not impossible for it to get back over $1, by this summer, the fact that it's so far under $1 makes it high risk. And as I've said before, I would likely wait until this is closer to $1 to even consider getting into this. However, you could set a stop loss at a wise spot, maybe at a certain level, maybe at 27 cents, something like that, and see where it takes you. Now for me, I would personally wait until it's closer to $1 before considering jumping back in this. And in my last video where I said that, I definitely had some comments saying, oh, you're gonna miss up on this run. That's already a 3x to get to $1. Why wouldn't you want to get in now? And this is the exact reason, because it's not doing a whole lot. Wall Street knows that it faces this hurdle, and we likely won't see a pile in unless it gets way closer to $1. Then it's pretty safe to say that it can break that $1 potentially. But right now where it's at, for me, it seems like too much of a gain needed to even get back to $1, and this stock could definitely suffer into the summer. But if you believe in this company, if you believe in the executive team, if you believe their Bitcoin is gonna continue to grow, their holdings are gonna grow, then who am I to tell you not to invest in your high conviction stocks? I'm personally gonna stay on the sideline and wait it out on this one. My portfolio is already high risk enough. But one thing I did want to mention on the chart here before I go, I'll leave you with a bullish point, is we have not yet seen the 50 MA actually pointing upwards. We do have now an ascending 50 MA, and the next thing to look out for here is the stock price to break the 50 MA, and we want to see the 200 MA start to curl upwards, indicating a potential bullish trend coming. So for the time being, I would personally watch for the stock price to break above the 50 MA, cause the 200 to curl, and then soon after see that golden cross. And as for the EMAs, we are still struggling to get over the 50 EMA, and they are still all pointing downwards, with the 200 above the 100 and the 100 above the 50, still in a bearish trend. And I almost forgot, guys, before I go, I did want to show you their Bitcoin production and holdings. I'll bring up this graph so you can see it better, but you'll notice that their Bitcoin holdings has absolutely fallen off a cliff ever since the new year. But of course, all hope is not lost with this company. Of course, they're not profitable, so they are likely to burn that cash, and they're likely to continue to sell their Bitcoin to survive, perhaps even dilute. In the end, this is a very risky stock, but it does still offer some potential. As you saw, in the next 30 to 45 days, I believe they said, they expect a dramatic increase in their hash rate. But let me know what you think about Sphere 3D. This stock has had a very interesting couple of years with the failed merger, with the made-up article going over how Elon Musk might take over Sphere 3D, which caused an absolute rally. But let me know what you think about this company. Let me know what you think about some other miners, if there's any I should talk about. Definitely mention them down below. Thanks as always, guys, and see you tomorrow.